Hello, you're welcome to Bless TV, and this is a sports cycle show. Today, we are taking a look at FC Barcelona's chances of actually qualifying to the next stage of the competition. And on Wednesday night, FC Barcelona are at home against Inter Milan at the Spotify Camp Nou, a crucial encounter in the UEFA Champions League, where Xavi Hernandez will be hoping to lead his guys to get a 3-point and actually boost their chances of qualifying to the next stage of the competition. And so today we are taking a look at 5 things Barca must do to defeat Inter Milan. Stay tuned. Alright, welcome back. And so the first thing that Barca must do to actually avoid defeat against Inter Milan is 1. Avoid conceding an early goal. Yes, it is so important that Barcelona, in all that they do, they must avoid conceding first against Inter Milan, because they clearly showed in the first game that when they conceded first, the game became much more difficult for them to actually break the defensive line of Inter Milan, and eventually the game ended in a 1-0 scoreline, 1-0 victory for Inter Milan. And so playing at home, it is important that they do not concede an early goal, which will demoralize the players and which will give Inter Milan a psychological edge over the Barcelona guys. And so Xavi must ensure things are put in the right perspective and that they avoid conceding an early goal against Inter Milan. The second thing that Barcelona must actually take as important is actually getting the first 11 right, and this goes to Xavi Hernandez. It is important that Xavi Hernandez correct his mistakes that happened in their last 2 away games in the UEFA Champions League. The first one was against Bayern Munich, where he got some players, in their wrong position, where he selected some players who shouldn't have started, which eventually, cost Barcelona all 3 points. And against Inter Milan, he repeated the same mistakes and they were punished. And so it is important that Xavi Hernandez get his first 11 right. You could clearly see that in the game against Inter Milan, a player like Rafinha was struggling a lot on the left wing of attack for FC Barcelona. Gavi didn't have his best game and he needed not to have started, or even if he started, he was actually supposed to actually have gone out earlier on in the game to actually give other guys the opportunities to make the difference for FC Barcelona. And so against Inter Milan at home at the Spotify Camp Nou, I expect that Xavi Hernandez will put up a starting lineup that is quite different from the one that started in Italy. And so if I'm to predict the first 11 of Barcelona against Inter Milan, this is how it's going to go. Ter Stegen in goal, at the right back Sergio Roberto, Piqué and Eric Garcia at the heart of defense, considering the number of injuries that have happened to the centre backs. And on the left side of defense, I would go for Bardi ahead of Jordi Alba and Alonso, who hasn't really impressed the Barca fan base. In midfield, a trio of Busquets, Pedri and De Jong ahead of Gavi. It will be a better option for FC Barcelona. And in attack, Ousmane Dembele on the right side of attack. In leading the attack will be Robert Lewandowski. And on the left side of attack, there will be a change. Instead of Rafinha, I'd rather go for Ansu Fati or Ferran Torres. This, I think, will make the big difference in the game, because you could clearly see against Inter Milan, almost every ball that Rafinha received on the left side of attack, he returned the ball back to the defense, and that wasn't helpful. Robert Lewandowski wasn't getting the service that he needed on the left side of attack, and having a right-footed player on the left wing will give several options to the attack. He can either cut in to his right or other take on the defender and whip in a very good cross for the other attackers to actually head on or score. And so having a right-footed player on the left wing is a plus to FC Barcelona. The third thing that Barca must do to actually boost their chances of winning against Inter Milan is to actually high press Inter Milan and also dominate possession. It is important that Barca do not give Inter Milan any spaces to attack, just like it happened in the first leg. Even though Inter Milan had limited possession of the ball, Any time that they got on the counter break, it was so difficult for Barca to have possession. And so it is important that Barcelona block all passage, all spaces of passing for Inter Milan, and ensure that they actually have maximum possession and not to take advantage of the possession that they have. The fourth thing that is so important that Barca must actually implement is actually take the risk and shoot at far. Barca have not been known as a team that actually shoot a lot. I mean, the players are always looking out to enter into the box of the opponent and to actually pass the ball into the net. But I guess in Inter Milan, you wouldn't have the luxury of time and space to actually do that. You would have to force your way to, get a ball at the back of the net. And one way is to actually shoot from outside the 18-yard box. Against Inter Milan last week, you could clearly see that Inter Milan took advantage of such. They just, tried, they took risks to take a chance and shoot far away, 20 yards, 30 yards, and it was effective. It was causing a lot of trouble for Ter Stegen and the Barca defense, and one of which resulted in the only goal of the game. And that is the same thing that could happen for Barcelona if the players would take the risk of shooting. Of course, Robert Lewandowski wouldn't have the luxury of space. They wouldn't give him the chance to actually operate. Dembele wouldn't have a lot of time on the ball because they will ensure to close all spaces, and that will give the midfielders the opportunity to shoot from 20-30 yards. And so Sergio Busquets, Pedri, Frenkie de Jong must take the chance of actually shooting with every little opportunity, every little space that they get. From distance, anything could happen. It could result in goals for FC Barcelona. The fifth thing that Barca must do to ensure that they defeat Inter Milan is actually making early, effective substitutions. And this goes to Xavi Hernandez. For his time at FC Barcelona, he's not been known for making early substitutions. He always wait for the 75th or the 80th minute before making changes, and I guess in Inter Milan that might be too late. And so when he realizes that a player is not having an impact in the game, he's not having the best of his games, it only makes logical sense to actually introduce a new person into that position. And unlike last season that Barca didn't have so many options on the bench, in this particular season, from defense to the midfield to attack, they have several options to cause a lot of havoc to the opponent. And so when things are getting tough, it is important that Xavi makes the substitutions quite early to make impact and ensure that Barca get the desired result to move to the next stage of the competition. And so these are the 5 things that are important that Barca do to ensure they get all 3 points. Looking at Inter Milan's start, their last 6 games before facing FC Barcelona last week, they had only won 2 out of the 6. They lost 4 out of the 6 games before meeting Barcelona last week. And so it clearly shows that Inter Milan are beatable. They surely can be beaten if only Barca do the right things on Wednesday night. So if I'm to predict the winner of this game, I'll obviously go for the home side, considering the fact that Barca are the team that really need the 3 points to boost their chances of qualification to the knockout of the UEFA Champions League. And so if Xavi is to put in place all these 5 things, I believe that Barcelona stand a chance of actually getting all 3 points, and also at least placing second on the Group C log behind Bayern Munich, and also ensuring that they actually qualify to the next stage of the competition. What do you think about it? What are your expectations of the game? You can share your thoughts on the game, share your expectation on the game. If you kindly share your opinion, share your expectations, like it, and also share this video with your friends and everybody. And let's see how this game goes. May the best team win.